pastor that preached last week talked about finishing strong, finishing well. And he picked his sermon from a couple of things that was so inspiring. And I felt because it's the end of the year, it's good for us to speak on things like this towards the end of the year. So I want to, like the lawyers will say, do an addendum to that which he spoke about last week. I've titled mine, Power to Finish Well. It's all the same thing. And I want to start by saying that everything that has a beginning must surely come to an end. Everything that started one day will come to an end. That's why I advise people that whenever anything you don't like happens in your life, don't fret too much. It started one day, it will go one day. It's no matter how good it is, except if you invest it well, that's the only time it will last. Anything that starts will end. Then, how long it will last depends on how much you fester it. And what I mean by that is this. If money comes your way, it comes one day. If you're not careful, it will go tomorrow. But if you invest the money, it will last for a period of time, isn't it? So the same way, if trouble comes your way, if you trust in God, it will go. It will go. But if you fret on it for so long, it will last longer than what it should have lasted. But that's not the topic for today. Everything that has a beginning must have an end. And no matter how well you start, no matter how well you start a race, if you don't finish well, you'll be deemed to be a failure. If you don't finish well, you'll be deemed to be a failure. I remember watching an Olympic 110 meters hurdle race, female. The ladies were on 110 meters hurdles. You have to jump several hurdles for you to get to the finishing line. And there is this lady that shot off the stand. When they were getting towards the end of the race, she was gapping the person coming second with at least 5 meters. She was so good. She was aiming to lay a world record on it. Unfortunately for her, when she was about to jump the last hurdle, her leg clipped the hurdle and she fell. Her leg clipped the hurdle and she fell to the ground. And other participants ran past her and they finished before her. When the result came out, it was written that she came last, even though she started best. Trophies are given to those who end well, not those who started well. The book of Ecclesiastes chapter 7 verse 8. Ecclesiastes chapter 7 verse 8 says, "Better is the end of a thing than the beginning thereof." What matters in life is how you start, is how you end, not how you start. No matter how bad your beginning is, if you work on your life pretty well, your end will justify the means, whether you are a success on earth or you are a failure. One person that didn't start wisely, that started badly, especially his Christian race, was Apostle Paul. He started badly. He was persecuting Christians in the beginning. He was persecuting them. He was on his way to bring those that are worshiping Jesus. He was on his way to Damascus to bring them chained when he encountered Jesus Christ. And then his life changed. And he began a race in Christendom. Even though he started badly, when it came to him getting old and about to die, he did an assessment of himself. He looked back in his years and he said this in 2 Timothy chapter 4, verse 7 and 8, I'll take. 2 Timothy chapter 4, verse 7 and 8, it was read out last week. He said, "I have fought a good fight. I have finished my course. I have kept the faith. I have fought a good fight. I have finished my course. I have kept the faith." Verse 8 says, henceforth there is laid up for me a crown of righteousness, which the Lord, the righteous judge, shall give me at that day, and not to me only, but unto all them also that love is appearing. Brethren, a crown of righteousness awaits him in heaven because he finished well. It doesn't matter how badly he started. You know, he was responsible. He had a hand in the killing of Apostle Stephen. It was said that when Stephen was killed, people were coming to lay their clothes on his feet. He was part of those that organized the killing. But it doesn't matter. What matters most is the fact that he ended well. On the other hand, if you flip his life the other way around, if he did what he did at the tail end of his life, at the beginning, and at the end, he was part of those that killed Stephen, he will have gone to hell. Do you understand what I'm saying there? So what matters most in a man's life is how he finishes, not how he started. Your beginning may be poor, your beginning may be bad, your beginning may be nothing to write home about. But brethren, that shouldn't determine how your story ends. In another 2 weeks, we will enter into another year. I'm sure a lot of us are hoping to enter into this new year, rejoicing and celebrating, and hoping for a better year than what we have this year. But if you are to do an assessment of your life this year, can you give yourself a pass mark the same way Apostle Paul gave himself a pass mark? Can you truly say of yourself, I have fought a good fight this year? Can you truly say of yourself that I have kept the faith this year? Can you say that? Can you say you have finished your course well? Many of us will not be able to answer this question in the affirmative. Many of us will not. Don't let's deceive ourselves. Many of us will not be able to answer it. Can you really assess that you've done your best this year, no matter the outcome? Now, if your answer to these questions that I've asked is no, then my next question will be why? Why is it no? Why is it that you've not been able to finish well or do all that? Most people will answer my next question, which is why, in a way that you want to put the blame on the society or anything extraneous of you, anything that is not of you. I would have done better if economy is fine. Buhari is not treating us well. This one and that one. Rain did not fall when it's supposed to fall. Sun shined too much this year. And all that and all that. But it's easy for anyone to put blame on everybody else but yourself. We tend to forget sometimes that it's your life. We tend to forget that it's your life and that you are responsible for what happens to you in life. You are responsible for what happens to you in life. Now, because of time, let me cut away certain things and just go straight to it. What are the things we need to do for us to finish this race well? What are the things we need to do? What are the things you need to do to take hold of your life and to be responsible for your life? Not looking for excuses for failure, but looking inward to yourself and say, this is my life, I will live it to the best of my abilities. Apostle Paul answered this question in the book of Hebrews chapter 12. And I'd like to just take 4 verses from it and then put this sermon to hold. Hebrews chapter 12, beginning from verse 1 to 4. Hebrews 12, verse 1 to 4. I'm going to pick out 5 things in here, and we're going to elaborate on it. And I hope that it will be a blessing unto you. Hebrews chapter 12, beginning from verse 1, I read. Wherefore, seeing we also are compassed about with so great a cloud of witness, let us lay aside every weight and the sins which doth so easily beset us, And let us run with patience the race that is set before us. Verse 2. Looking unto Jesus, the author and finisher of our faith, who for the joy that was set before him endured the cross, despising the shame, and is set down at the right hand of the throne of God. Verse 3. For consider him that endures such contradictions of sinners against himself, lest ye be weary and faint in your mind. And verse 4. Ye have not yet resisted unto blood, striving against sin. The trouble you're going through has not cost you your blood now. So why are you complaining? That's what he's saying there. You've not resisted unto blood. You have not shed your blood. Jesus shed his own blood. You haven't shed blood and you are complaining. There are 5 things I want to bring out here, and I'll probably just follow them the way he put them. And I hope it bless you. The first thing is said in Hebrews chapter 12, verse 1, wherefore seeing we also are compassed about with so great a cloud of witness. So many, if you look around it, there are so many people that are going through what you're going through, yet they're succeeding in it. If you look into history, many people went through what you're going through, even worse things that you're going through right now, yet they succeeded. He said we are compassed, we are surrounded by so great a cloud of witness. So many people are witnessing to it that, listen, you're not the only one going through what you're going through. So why should you fail? People are going through exactly what you're going through. Some are going through worse things that you're going through, yet they're coming out better people. So why would you fail? Why would you fail? If you look into history, if you look into the Bible, you see several. Adam was the only man on earth one time. So you saying that your wife or your husband left you, Adam had nobody to talk to at some time except talking to animals. He went through it and he succeeded. Adam did his own. Abraham did his own. Several people in the Bible went through difficult situations and they succeeded. You want to look at your present time? You know the story of our father in the Lord, Daddy Gio. He was born poor. Yet he's one of the richest, he's one of the most respected human beings on the surface of the earth right now. So you want to complain that you're from a poor home, that's why you're not achieving your aim in life? No. There are many poor people that got to greatness in life. You're not the only one. Some of us will know the story of Chief MK, the late Chief MK Abiola. Before he passed on, he was the richest man in Nigeria. He was the Dangote of his time. Abiola was born into a poor home. According to his history, for him to eat, especially on a weekend, he would use, where's your drum? Your drum, what do you call it? Gong. He will use, you know, when you're doing parties, the people, when the celebrant is coming in, the gong people that will come and play, that's what he does when he was young. And according to him, he does that mainly for him to be given a plate of amala in Ibadan. He does that to be given, that when he gets that, he looks for extra portions so that he will eat that in the evening. He was born into such a poor family that he had to do that to survive. In the later part of his years, he became the richest man in Nigeria, one of the most respected in the history of this country. So, brethren, what is it you're talking about, that you're born into a poor home, that's why you are poor? No. There are so many clouds of witness that are telling you that's not the reason why you are poor. People that surround you should be a form of encouragement for you and an example for you to follow. Pastor Adeboye was born into a poor home, we were told last week, to the level that some of at a certain age, he didn't have shoes to wear. Yet, he's one of the most respected human beings on earth right now. He didn't look at the fact that I'm born into a poor home, so I shouldn't bother myself to try to be rich. No. Why must you say because of an extraneous factor that is not you? Extraneous, something that happened, that is happening to a lot of people. Do you know in this country right now, people are becoming rich every day? Yet we say Buhari is bad. You're not rich because you have not looked inward. Not because Buhari is bad. I've said this somewhere, and the person said the only people getting rich are the people that are embezzling money. Big lie. There are people that are doing legitimate business right now, and they're making so much money, and yet Buhari is still the president. So why must you look at excuses extraneous of you? Apostle Paul said in 1 Chronicles chapter 10, verse 13. 1 Chronicles chapter 10, verse 13. He said there is nothing you're going through right now that somebody else have not gone through before. There is no temptation that has befallen you that others have not gone through before. But God made a way of escape for them. God will make a way of escape for you now. But trust in yourself. Stop looking at extraneous factors. Stop giving excuses for yourself for what you can do but you are not doing. Many people are stagnant in life because they find it easy. You know, the greatest thing, the easiest thing you can do in life is to fail. That's the easiest thing you can do in life. And boy, I can tell you, you can have 100 reasons as to why you must fail. Why must you pick any of the 100? Why don't you pick just that one reason that will make you succeed? I remember I was reading an inspirational book about one of the richest men in the United States at one time. The guy said in his 60s, when he was growing up, he would do several things, he would fail. He would do several things, he would fail. And that he realized at a particular point in time in his life that when he does 10 things, when he does 10 different things, he will succeed in one. He will do 10 things, he will succeed in one. That instead of it to discourage him, he made up his mind at the age of 17 to do 100 things per month so that he would succeed in 10 of them. He became one of the richest men in the United States. Many of us, having done 3 or 4 things, we go under that umbrella that says, maybe God doesn't want it for me. Paul is telling us here that there are many people who have gone before us, who have gone through the same situation we're going through right now, and who succeeded. They should be a form of encouragement for you. They should serve an encouragement and example for you. That if this man can succeed, I too can succeed. There's nothing you're going through, brethren, that no one has ever gone through before. And a lot of people, out of nothing, made something for themselves. That's why the Bible gave you the Bible. That's why God gave us the Bible. The Bible is supposed to be a source of inspiration for us. If you look at the book of Romans chapter 15, verse 4, Romans chapter 15, verse 4, the Bible says, it is written in there that the Bible is written for us to learn from. If you don't understand how other people did it, or if you don't understand what is going on in your life, go to the Bible. The Bible will teach you. Brethren, we come to church because we come to listen to testimonies of people that when you hear them, you will be inspired and be encouraged by those testimonies. We just had some testimonies today. So that you will understand that whatever you're going through, if God can do it for him, he will do for me. Many people are discouraged even before they start the race. So it makes them to fail at the end of the day. Many people are so discouraged, even by the time they're starting the race, that it is obvious they're going to fail before even they get into the race. Read the Bible, listen to people's testimonies, listen to their stories, hear what they have gone through in life, and you'll be inspired that if they can get through the problem that they went through, you can also go through your own problem and succeed too. Are you sick or something like that? Brethren, listen to the testimonies of people who have been healed, who through illness, who through the sickness they were going through, still achieved great things in their lives. Why must you hold on to that excuse that because something happened to you, that's why you can't succeed in life? Many things happen to many people in life, and yet they didn't hold on to it for failure. They succeeded. And by the grace of him that created the heavens and the earth, you will succeed. I don't think you heard me there. The next thing Paul said, the next thing he said is that we should lay aside. Wherefore, seeing we also are compassed about with so great a cloud of witnesses, let us lay aside every weight and the sins which doth so easily beset us. Let us lay aside every weight and let us lay aside every sin that so easily beset us. Let us lay aside every weight and every sin. Let us set them aside. They're bogging us down. Let us set them aside. Every weight and every sin that so easily beset us. I won't spend so much emphasis on sin because I know most of us don't sin. I mean, we live a so righteous life, so we don't sin. Oh, do we still sin? Oh, you still sin? Okay. When I make an altar call today, please stand up. But I'm saying that sarcastically anyway, but I can tell you this. Sins will distance you from spiritual help. Where the Spirit of God will have led you, sin will not make you get there. Sin is a disobedience to God. I don't plan to talk so much on sin today, but I want to talk on the word wait. Because to me, that's what I know a lot of people don't understand. Sin will not make you enjoy the blessings of God. Sin will not make God to help you when you need help. And because this race is a race that you can't run on your own alone, if you don't get help, you won't succeed, you won't end well. So I want to advise each and every one of us, if you're still involved in any sin, help yourself by dissociating yourself from it. People do sin. People have lived in sin before, and one day they decided in their heart, I don't want to sin again. And they stopped doing it. You can do it too. And the grace to do it, the Lord will give unto you. But I want to talk on that word, wait. Because I know a lot of us misconstrue that word, wait. Maybe another word I can use for the word wait is distractions. Another word I can use for wait here is distractions. And can I give a flashing news today, a breaking news? Devil does not use sin or temptation to stop you from serving God any longer. He knows you know his trick, and that is an old trick of tempting you with this. No, devil does not tempt any longer. It's an old one. Now what he uses is distractions. What the devil uses now to make you not reach your goal in life is distractions. That's why the Apostle Paul used the word wait. Let me explain it. Weights are something, how do I simplify it? Weights are something that on their own, they're not bad, they're good, they're not sinful, but they will not get you to your goal. Things that you do that is not against what God says you should do. God did not say you shouldn't do this thing. God said do it. But those are the things that you do that will not lead you to your God, the purpose of God for your life, or even your purpose for your life. While I was preparing for this message, I noticed one of those weights in my life, and I cut it off. And I'm sure my wife will bear me witness right now. She probably would notice that truly I have not seen him do this. This is my tab. I prepare all my messages in here. Even my business letters and the rest of them, I do them all in here. I use this tab a lot of times. And inside this same tab, I downloaded some games. The two that I play most is Free Cell and Solitaire. Boy, I can bet you nobody has played those two games like me here. No matter how much you like it. I've been playing it for years. Why do I download them? There are times when I get bored. In order to fill up the time, let me play a game. I remember one time a driver was driving me to Ondo State. It was a 3.5 hours drive. As soon as we left Lagos, I picked up my tab and put it on Free Cell, played freestyle, got tired of it, jumped to solitaire. I played it all till the time that we got to Ore, about 3 hours drive. There's no sin in playing game. But what does it do to my life? Nothing. The time that I would have used in preparing for the meeting I was going for in Ondo State, I was playing game. The time that I would have used in preparing a message or reading the Bible or doing something tangible, I was playing game. I played game for 3 hours. The remaining, in fact, when the driver was driving, he would want to discuss with me. I would shun him. He was disturbing my game. What are things that you do? They're not bad. They're not sinful. But they take up so much of your time that the purpose for which you're going, the purpose you have set for yourself for this year, you don't have time for it again. What is sinful in you holding onto your phone and using your phone? But when you spend the entire day on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook and the rest of them, you're not committing any sin. You're not looking into pornography. No, you're not that kind of a person. But you're gisting and reading other people's posts and it took the whole day. And somebody asked you, how's your day? It was good. What was good in the day? What have you done that is leading you to your purpose in life all the day? Nothing. You can go to church that same evening, and the Bible says, if you have sinned, God will punish you. And you know inside your heart you have not sinned, so God won't punish you. So you are not among those that God will punish, right? But you are not among those that have received blessing for that day, because you have made weight to draw you back. Many of us have spent our entire year on distractions. When this year came forth, when we shouted Happy New Year, you had good intention towards this year. You had plans to be this or to be that or to do this and do that. But in the middle of the year, somehow you got distracted by other things. You had new friends. You guys started hanging out. It's a distraction. You know, the devil could make you look so good that you're doing a good thing, but you're doing it at the wrong time. At the end of the day, your life is not better off than when you started. The devil doesn't want you to come to church. He knows you're a child of God. He doesn't want you to come to church. It's Sunday morning. When you woke up, about to get set for church, NEPA took light. Some of us fall for that temptation. I say, NEPA is taking light. Don't let me stay at home. Some of us are stubborn. And he says, whether I will take any clothes, whether iron or no iron, I'm not going to church, suppose. Okay, as soon as you get dressed, you're about to leave the house, rain starts falling. You got yourself an umbrella, and you say, I must get to church today. As you are leaving the house, your landlord came to knock on your door and say, when you're coming back from church today, if you don't bring your house rent, don't come back to this house. Oh. Now you are in church, you are distracted. How do I handle this landlord when I get home? Pastor is preaching sermon and saying, pray. You can't pray any longer. Why? Because the devil has distracted you. Brethren, your case might not have fallen into what I'm talking about, but there's something in your life that distracts you, that doesn't make you have a fulfilling year, that doesn't make you focus on the thing to set your mind to do this year. Many of us are distracted. We're not where we're supposed to be, not because we didn't put effort, but when you are putting effort on things that does not lead you anywhere, it amounts to nothing. It amounts to nothing. What is the distraction in your life, brethren? Only you will know. I remember my wife would sometimes come into the room and see me playing solitaire. She was complaining one time. I thought she looked at the one time and said, Motifiel, play the solitaire until thy kingdom come. God will deliver you. And I'm sure that our prayer has been answered. God has delivered me. What most of us don't know about weight, it slows you down. And it consumes your time that you will have used for a tangible thing, makes you use it for intangible things. The same thing. You're reading, you're studying for your exams, or you're reading something. You know, many times when you're reading, your mind flashed to somewhere. I remember I was reading recently about something, and I was trying to concentrate, and my mind flew to my hometown. I hardly go there in the first place. And I was asking myself, devil, what is my business about my hometown now? Just to distract you from what you're doing. You need to identify the weight that is in your life and find a way of dealing with it. Because at the end of the day, you will have worked as much as other people, but you will not have come close to your goal as they did. Why? Because you have been distracted on your way to your goal. May the Lord deliver you in the name of Jesus Christ. The third thing that Apostle Paul mentioned there is that he said, and let us run with patience the race that is set before us. Let us run with patience the race that was set before us. Two things I'm going to talk about here. Let us run with patience. We talk about patience, and let us run the race that was set before us. Brethren, your race in life is different from my race. Many people are running other people's race. And there is no way you will get to your goal by running other people's race. No way. I remember a man that was talking about these distraction things. And he said every morning he goes out to jog. He goes out to walk every morning. Sometimes he walks for 1 hour, 2 hours. Sometimes, he does all that. And then there was this particular day, while he was walking, a beautiful lady came from somewhere. He was rounding up his walk. He had been walking for like 1.5 hours. He was heading towards his house now to retire for the day and get ready for work. But while he was walking, this lady overtook him. While he was retiring, this lady overtook him, and he saw her. And according to him, how can a lady walk faster than I? So he started walking the lady's walk, forgot his own walk. He walked, his aim was to ensure that he beat this lady. And he was walking, the lady was walking, she turns right, he turns right. He turns left, she turns left, he turns left. At the end of the day, the lady got to a house, opened the gate, and entered. He now realized he has left his street 40 minutes ago. Many of us run other people's race. That's why sometimes you hear this person got succeeded in this business. You go into the business. Who told you God said you should do that business?